is Animal Tales, Tampa Bay's #1 pet show, where each week we bring you the latest from our animal community and beyond. You can join the program with your pet questions by calling or visiting tampapets.org. And now, here's your host, Michael Cooper.
Well, we're back. And welcome. Good to have you here on this Saturday afternoon. And finally here in Tampa Bay. I don't know about our friends in Little Rock, but finally in Tampa Bay we got some great weather. And, of course, that brings out everybody traveling 20 miles an hour along the Tampa Bay. They just love to look at Tampa Bay and drive at 20 miles an hour. And anyway, get that out of my system. Good to be back here. We got a great show today. Got a guest coming up, the author of Why I'd Rather Date My Dog. And a little later in the program, we're talking birds. Birds. The Tampa Pet Adoption Expo is coming up, and the Parrot Heads for Pets, sponsored by TampaPets.org. That's coming up on Saturday, April 24th. And this year at the Tampa Pets Adoption Expo, you know, we do these things twice a year, we've got a parrot rescue. That's right. Parrots need to be rescued, too. And Jennifer Underwood will be here with us a little later in the program. And, of course, wrapping up our show as we always do every week, Anna Cook from the New Barker Magazine is here. She'll wrap up the program with us, tell us all the great places we can take our four-legged companions with us. And now we'll have to ask Anna to see if where can we take our little two-legged parrots with us. I'm sure there's some bars that love to have parrots sitting on people's shoulders. Anyway, that's what's coming up in the program today. But first up, our guest, Nancy Furstinger. Yes, Nancy. Nancy Furstinger is with us. Why I'd Rather Date My Dog, Musings for Savvy Singles. Nancy, welcome to Animal Tales. How are you?
Thanks. I'm great. It's a balmy 44 degrees in upstate New York, and the snow is melting.
And the snow is melting, and it's getting ready to snow again. And where in the world is Furstinger from? What country? Where does that originate?
It's a Hungarian name, and nobody can pronounce it properly, but you got it on the second try.
On the second try. But, you know, Furstinger is not that hard. That's my fault. I'm rattled today on the show. Did you get the name of your book, Why I'd Rather Date My Dog, Musings for Savvy Singles, from a British columnist, Jeremy Clarkson? I read an article he did in the Times that said, I'd rather hire a dog than a prostitute. That was April 27, 2008. Anyway, Nancy, talk to us a little bit about the book. You are an animal lover. I guess maybe before we get to the book, give us a little background. You've been involved in pet rescue for a long time.
Yes, I have. I was involved in pet rescue probably starting about 20 years ago when I lived in the Catskills in New York State. And there was a tiny shelter up there that nobody knew existed, and it was unfortunately euthanizing quite a few animals, predominantly dogs and cats. So 5 of us started a Friends of the Shelter group, and we publicized it with newsletter and a lot of outreach, a lot of fun events, and the adoption rate is phenomenal right now for a tiny little shelter with a big heart.
And you currently share your home, don't you? Isn't your home a bit of a shelter? 3 dogs, 7 rabbits? Come on.
Yes, I'm bursting at the seams now. I have 3 rescued dogs, all big black dogs that seem to fade into the background in shelters and are not as adoptable. I adopted them as adults. I didn't expect the 3rd one, but someone was getting evicted from their house, and they just up and left the dog behind. So I was intended to foster her, but that lasted about 5 hours, and I flunked fostering 101 once again.
And you started with 2 rabbits like a week ago, right?
No, my rabbits are all spayed and neutered, and but they can reproduce rather rapidly every 30 days, actually. And I volunteer with the House Rabbit Society, so we foster rabbits that are their 11th hour is up at the shelter, and they're searching for new homes, and we get them assimilated to being house pets and adopt them out to great homes.
What's it like having a rabbit as a pet? Is it like a cat? Is it like a dog? Give us the clue.
They are completely different. They have very delicate systems, so you need to find a good rabbit vet, and not every vet specializes in rabbits. They're considered exotics. They're quiet. They're clean. They, do have some, challenging issues in the beginning to, keep them from chewing on things, but there's all kinds of deterrents you can do. I do have one rabbit that's a three-legged Flemish giant. I also flunked fostering 101 with her, and she hates other rabbits. Usually it's good to team up rabbits because they do better in pairs, spayed and neutered, of course. And she was not willing to accept a male rabbit, so she thinks she's a dog. She's so funny. She pushes my Rottweiler off of his bed at 3 o'clock every morning like clockwork, and he slinks outside, and she takes over the whole dog bed.
So we have a Rottweiler living with 7 rabbits. Once again, another stereotype banished.
Yes, definitely.
Well, that's great. I mean, that sounds really wonderful. Nancy Furstinger is our guest. She's written over 100 books. Are you writing a book as we speak? Because with that many books, you're just writing all the time.
Yes, actually I am. I have 2 picture books coming out next year, one on rabbits and one about the dog Jolly that I had told you that I flunked fostering 101 with her. And I'm also trying to write a biography of Henry Berg, who started the ASPCA, who was just a fascinating character. So hopefully I will find a publisher for that.
Oh, I think that would be an easy publisher to find. Now, let's get to your latest book, Why I'd Rather Date My Dog, Musings for Savvy Singles. What brought this about, Nancy?
Well, I had 3 dates from hell, one after the other. And my friends had said that they couldn't have picked worse dates for me. So I went home and I thought, what a waste of time. What could I have been doing with my time instead? So naturally, I thought of something in the book market, and this title just popped into my head. I hadn't read that column that you talked about, but I looked it up, and the book practically wrote itself. It's a bunch of witty quips, it's geared toward males, females, gay, straight, young, and old, and it's the idea caught on like chicken pox in a classroom. And it's been pretty popular, and of course, along with the witty quips in the back of the book, the quips are meant to be taken tongue and jowl, although there is, a nugget of truth in each one of them. And then I emphasize in the back of the book why someone should go to an animal shelter and adopt their new best friend and immediately get that animal spayed or neutered if he or she is not already altered.
Well, what are some of those truths that come out in the humor?
Well, a few of them are a little risque, so I'll have to find ones that are suitable for the show.
That's okay. You should have heard the show on before us. Whew. Okay.
Whew. I'll have to look it up on the website. Well, it starts with, it's divided into 4 chapters, and it starts with the canine advantage. So I'll just read a few of those. Dogs never Google you before a first date. They prefer to dig up the dirt in their own backyards.
That is true. Everybody is Googling everybody today, not only for a job, but for a date. And Nancy, there's a lot to Google on you. So obviously you're in trouble, right? Because when you've written 100 books, there's a lot to Google on you.
Let's hope it's all good.
Let's hope it's all good. Okay, there's one. Dogs don't Google. And what is it? They only dig up things in their own backyard?
Yeah, they prefer to dig up the dirt in their own backyard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay.
That's true. And let me see. Dogs don't gossip. They wag their tails rather than their tongues.
Yeah, well, okay. I like that one very much. Very much. My dog Strider does not have a tail, but he's an exception. Go ahead.
What kind of dog is that?
He's an Australian Shepherd, and he was the only one in the litter born without a tail, and the last to be adopted, so we took him.
Oh, how marvelous.
Yes. He's great, and he's great. He's wonderful with coffee tables because he doesn't knock anything off.
I have that problem with 3 sweeping tails. He's probably great at agility as well.
Yes, he is. Oh, you're a great Frisbee dog. All right, Nancy, give me another good one from Why I'd Rather Date My Dog.
A dog with Peter Pan syndrome who never grows up is appealing. His human counterpart is exasperating.
A human part is exasperating. And I have to throw one more thing in there. Have you noticed, do you when you have a date, do you let them come to your apartment and meet the dogs? Because the dogs can really tell you a lot about people. Have you found that out throughout your life?
Yes, definitely. And, in fact, I mentioned that in the introduction where I describe why I'd rather spend the evening with my Rottweiler mix, Splash, than with people. Some of these horrible dates from hell, and I say that he likes to, he can sniff out the good dates because he is a great barometer of a person's personality, and if they don't like dogs, he can instantly sense that, and if somebody doesn't like animals, well, they don't belong with me.
Well, Nancy, and I have to give you that warning I always give my friends in the animal rescue biz, because they work so closely with all the animals and they deal with so many lousy human beings. I always remind them of this, Nancy, that people are animals too, so don't forget that, and continue to date.
That'll be the title for my next book.
All right. Any other great gems you can share with us, or are you going to make everybody go buy the book?
I will choose one more, but purchase the book, which is great because I donate to a lot of animal organizations, as you can imagine.
Yes.
Okay. Faces that resemble a squashed toad are endearing in dogs.
Faces that, well, give me that again.
Faces that resemble a squashed toad are endearing in dogs.
Are endearing in dogs. So obviously we must like some pugs.
Pugs, and I dedicated this to my best friend, Sherry Duncan, who's been friends with me since junior high school, and she had a bulldog at the time, so that's what I was aiming for.
That's absolutely wonderful. Okay, now let's get back to your dog. You've got a Rottweiler. What are the other two?
I have a black lab that I adopted through Pet Finders after seeing a postage-size image of her and 2 sentences. I drove 7 hours to Long Island with my Rottweiler Splash, and I was hoping that they would hit it off because I didn't want to drive 7 hours home with just one dog, and they immediately connected, so that was great. And the third dog, the one that I rescued from the house, Jolly, I believe she's a black lab shepherd. So it's 3 very large dogs that I go walking with every day, and everybody always jokes that I need a pair of roller skates.
Well, Nancy, who came first, the dogs or the rabbits?
That's a good question. I had rabbits when I adopted Splash from the Humane Society, and his staying as part of my forever family was contingent upon him getting along with the rabbits. And his 2 labs actually ignore the rabbits, but Splash is very exuberant with his tongue, and he cleans them all, and he's just a really sweet, gentle dog.
Isn't it amazing? Animals, unlike humans, seem to be able to get along in almost every circumstance once everybody gets calmed down and everybody knows their territory. You can just put about any animal together, and it may take a little bit of time, but they're going to get along well. And I would just wish we could say that about humans. We just can't, can we?
No, unfortunately, they should take a lesson from animals. I mean, people are just stunned when they see my dog sunning on one of the decks with one of my rabbits, and they can't believe it. And he's a real ambassador for the misunderstood Rottweiler breed.
Well, yes, he is a good ambassador they are absolutely a misunderstood breed. Again, one of the themes of our program here at Animal Tales is that the animals, we stereotype the animals. The animals are all about the owners. They reflect the owners. They don't, it's not the breeds that are so bad. The poor pit bull is a dog that is a relatively calm dog in Europe, and over here, because of so many people that think they got to have a pit bull to go with their pickup truck, their tattoo, and their rifle in the back of the car, these dogs don't get a chance.
Oh, I agree 100%. We have a great organization up here called Out of the Pits, and they try to, adopt out pit bulls. And my best friend that I had dedicated the Date and Dog book to, she moved from New York